Another one bites the dust. The day after suffering defeat at the polls, former Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi will address the press, his countrymen, and the world, all anxious to learn where it all went wrong.
Allora, come sapete e come è doveroso, mi pare che abbiamo riconosciuto con chiarezza che si tratta di una sconfitta netta, quella delle elezioni politiche di ieri.
Matteo Renzi first became prime minister in 2014. Representing the Democratic Party, he was seen as the reformer to rebuild Italy's economy and tighten bonds with the EU. Today, he is a defeated man.
Noi abbiamo compiuto errori. Se a questo si somma l'evidenza di un vento estremista che nel 2014 siamo riusciti a fermare e che invece stavolta non siamo riusciti a bloccare, comprendiamo come il risultato sia davvero deludente. Grazie a tutti e buona giornata.
Why did Italians turn their backs on traditional political parties? And why risk their future in the hands of untested populists? From a hard-hit working class to youth unemployment,
le prospettive che questo paese mi offre sono o te ne vai o inizi qua a fare lo schiavo.
to a simmering migration crisis.
They accused us like a lot of things, like stealing, raping, and everything, but they think that we do that.
Devono andarsene fuori dai coglioni.
This is Italy's Choice 2018, and it's disrupting democracy.
Prima gli italiani. Prima gli italiani.
It is not so easy to find a normal election in Italy. It is important because it is uncertain. It is unclear who is going to win. There are some actors that have been tested, that know to some extent how to govern. And there are new actors, that is the five-star movement, that has been untested, and therefore it presents, I would say, a risk. On the other hand, there are probably millions of Italians who believe that it also presents opportunities. But I thought you wanted to interview me as an Italian political scientist, knowing something about Italian politics, not as an astrologist, okay? If you want the astrologist, I would tell you that the stars may change.
The major disrupting force in this year's election is the Five-Star Movement. Once an outsider group, it is now leading in the polls. Five-Star began in 2009 as an online blog of comedian Beppe Grillo to express frustration with Italy's political system.
Silenzio, silenzio! Sono l'elevato, silenzio! È un buffone, chiamiamolo così, un buffone! Allora tutti i partiti si sono trasformati in movimenti. E l'unico partito vero che c'è oggi in Italia siamo noi. È fantastico, fermi! È fantastico, siamo gli unici che abbiamo.
Five Star believes first and foremost that the Italian political elite has sold out the country. Once we put all that to the side, what do they believe? Well, their platform has been actually quite empty in that regard.
The movement frames itself as neither right-wing or left-wing. Instead, they challenge the entire political apparatus for being corrupt and distant from everyday Italians. Luca Frusone is a 32-year-old member of parliament representing the Five-Star Movement. He's running for re-election.
Hey, Il movimento io l'ho sempre definito come una sorta di esperimento sociale, nel senso che i cittadini da sempre lamentavano l'impossibilità di partecipare alla vita politica del paese.
In a tight election, every vote counts, and a train ride is a chance to win a new supporter.
Cioè farle partecipare in prima persona. Altrimenti, io lo capisco, la delusione, il distaccamento delle persone dalla politica.
Dovreste prendere i voti dai giovani, dovreste prendere i voti.
Già ce l'abbiamo quelli, fortunatamente.
The Five Star Movement is the product of something that has always existed in Italian politics. That is a criticism of politics as it is.
La piaga dei lavori pubblici che non possono essere licenziati.
Ci stiamo lavorando anche a quello.
By January, Five Star Movement is leading in the Italian polls, and momentum is growing.
Avvaggiami pure un pochino.
Tu per chi voti?
Io per chi voto? 5 Stelle.
La signora, anche la signora, 5 Stelle.
E perché 5 Stelle?
È perché vogliamo cambiare un poco, vogliamo vedere loro che dicono, che vogliono fare.
Tutte le persone che riescono a ragionare vedono quanto sono sporchi questi qua. L'unica speranza l'abbiamo sui 5 Stelle.
5 Stelle.
Five Star is not the only new face of Italian politics. Here, in this abandoned psychiatric prison in Naples, Potere al Popolo, or Power to the People in English, hopes it can build a new party out of the ashes of Italy's decaying left wing.
Sono una studentessa di scienze politiche e faccio parte del collettivo che ha occupato questa struttura. Un posto come questo è un posto che ha permesso di cominciare una vera e propria battaglia politica, delle lotte, delle vertenze, e questo l'abbiamo affrontato in vari ambiti. L'abbiamo affrontato sul lavoro, non si ha manco un contratto, si va a lavorare a nero e non hai ferie, non hai possibilità di avere diritti, non hai possibilità di avere un salario adeguato, non esisti per lo Stato.
Che abbiamo cominciato 2 mesi fa, è un viaggio che ci porterà veramente a rispondere ai diritti, ai bisogni e alle esigenze di tutti. Basta.
While Five Star aims to win the election outright, Potere al Popolo is fighting for 3% of the national vote. 3% would earn them a first seat in parliament.
Grande.
Chiara is running for parliament.
C'è anche un video di loro 3.
Potere al Popolo started with little fanfare, but with the traditional left in disarray, people around the country are beginning to notice.
How do you feel about all the attention you're getting all of a sudden?
It's weird, but it's necessary because we have a strong message to give to all the people in this country.
So why do Italians feel like no one is listening, that they've lost their voice? Why have they left traditional parties, and why does populism appear on the rise? One place to start is the bleak outlook for the country's millennials. Marco has a degree from Italy's top business school, but now he's studying at Johns Hopkins University in Italy. He's planning a transition to the United States next fall.
What you can produce using all resources available to you.
There is a strong idea that you have to leave in order to get skills, in order to get a good job, even among business students. A lot of people would like to come back. They would really love to. But they are unable to do so because they couldn't afford the same standard of life. They wouldn't have the same opportunities they have abroad. They have no reason to stay in Italy, unfortunately.
The move abroad is not uncommon for Italy's highly educated.
Hi, my name is Silvio. I am from the north of Italy and I'm currently doing a PhD in Washington, D.C. in the United States.
My name is Leo. I have a law degree from Italy. I work for Amazon in Barcelona.
I left Italy 6 years ago and now I'm in Mozambique, Maputo, and I work as an economist at the World Bank.
The major symptom is that a lot of university graduates are graduating into a labor market that doesn't have university level qualified positions. As a consequence of which you end up with a very educated workforce that doesn't see the life prospects that they thought they were being assured when they went to university in the first place.
Are students confident that they'll be able to enter the labor market?
They are, but not in Italy.
Of course, not everyone can leave, and Italy's working class is also feeling the pinch.
Beh, le acciaierie hanno rappresentato storicamente, diciamo, il motore della città. Questo basta vedere l'estensione di questa fabbrica rispetto alla città. È stato chiuso inizialmente il reparto del magnetico e si sono persi centinaia di persone. Adesso la seconda volta dalle acciaierie sono uscite oltre 500 persone. E vi rendete conto di quanto è importante questa fabbrica.
In a normal election year, working-class Tierney's support for the Democratic Party would be a safe bet. This is not a normal election year.
Senti a me, porta il litro di vino.
Chi vince le elezioni il 4 marzo?
5 Stelle.
5 Stelle.
5 Stelle.
Speriamo. Speriamo. Meno ladri di quell'altro.
Tu per chi voti?
Io voto
5 Stelle.
questa che mi pare a me.
No, 5 Stelle devo dare.
5 Stelle?
5 Stelle. La sinistra deve morire proprio, sparire dalla circolazione.
The left has lost its working-class base in Tierney. For Antonio, that's a tough pill to swallow.
È chiaro, noi siamo nuovi, bisogna fargli capire cosa siamo e cosa rappresentiamo. Non sarà una cosa facile. E convincere chi tutti i giorni, diciamo, lavora in fabbrica e poi vede alcune cose che magari non gli vanno bene sarà difficile perché la sinistra è stata assente per un periodo.
But the real lightning rod in Italy's 2018 election is migration. Since 2015, over 500,000 refugees and migrants have entered Italy, most of them from Africa.
Okay, my name is Sam. I am 20 years old. I arrived in Italy here in February 2017. I'm from the Gambia. From Gambia, I go to Senegal. From Senegal, Mali, Burkina Faso. I go to Niger. From Niger, Libya. So when I was in Libya, there was no going back. The only way out is to go in front. It is very difficult to live in Libya. We are sleeping at the street, like we don't have no place to sleep. They can kidnap you, sell you, like that's the way they do things. It's their business. They call us flus. We are like money. The first time, like we were at the boat about almost like 10 minutes. They catch us. We were sent to prison. From that prison, like we have to break the prison. We force and break the prison. Some lost their life. We are lucky to escape. The second time, we try again. That one we go about like 30 minutes. The boat, the water was coming inside the boat. So people were screaming. The only thing that we can do right now is to force a return back. Then come this third time, it was like we were lucky, like they pushed us like through this boat. We spent almost around 9 hours at the sea. Thank God, and we have a rescue.
Come l'acqua piove?
I first met Sang at a volunteer Italian language school for migrants. Unwittingly, African migrants have become the focal point of the March 4th election.
Sono molti emigrati. Sono molti.
E il problema?
È un problema. È molto, e quando è molto non buono.
Perché?
E dove li mettiamo? Non ci abbiamo posto per mettere tutti questi migranti.
E loro lavorano e gli italiani no. Trovano più lavoro loro che gli italiani. È giusto?
Insomma, noi siamo orgogliosi di ciò che abbiamo fatto in questi anni. Noi siamo orgogliosi di ciò che abbiamo fatto in questi anni. E siamo orgogliosi di aver fatto un investimento sulla cultura. Noi siamo orgogliosi dei ragazzi che entrano in una biblioteca o una libreria e prendono dei libri, magari in libreria con il bonus da 500 euro, che porta la nuova generazione a dare del più alla possibilità di educarsi.
Matteo Renzi has led the traditional center-left Democratic Party since 2013, including a period as Italy's prime minister. In an era of increased populism, he came to power as the apparent responsible choice, with reform momentum.
As president, I'm especially grateful for my partnership with my good friend Matteo. I mean, look at him. He's young, handsome. He's put forth a vision of progress that's not rooted in people's fears, but rather in their hopes.
What Renzi represented was a change in the way the economy worked. He was a reformist, and he offered a great possibility, but that doesn't mean that that's what the people necessarily wanted.
Viva gli Stati Uniti d'America, viva l'Italia, viva la libertà.
In his effort to find the middle ground, he somehow alienated both the left and the right.
Renzi was arrogant, was presumptuous, was also authoritarian in dealing with the minority within the Democratic Party. On the whole, he was not very good at governing.
Meanwhile, the options on Italy's traditional right wing seem equally uninspired. Silvio Berlusconi has led Italy's right-wing Forza Italia since 1994. During that period, he has served as prime minister for 9 years, became one of the richest men in the world, faced bribery charges, abuse of office charges, a tax fraud conviction, and a series of sex scandals.
She said a young woman danced while dressed as a nun and stripped for the then prime minister.
Berlusconi is, I would say, an element of the biography of the nation. First of all, is someone who has had success. This cannot be denied. He has become a very wealthy man. He has a sense of politics as a sort of show. That is, he was in show business because he controlled and still controls almost half of the entire television system.
This gets to a crux of the March 4 election. While movements like Five Star rely on digital technology to spread the word, Berlusconi still dominates TV.
La seconda parte di Capozzo.
Io sono stato il progettista di Forza Italia. Io personalmente non guardavo la televisione di Silvio Berlusconi, ma quando ho progettato Forza Italia mi sono molto servito della popolarità televisiva di Silvio Berlusconi.
Capi politici che detengono il potere sulle televisioni. Ora, da parte nostra, sta piano piano sostituendo quello che sono i vecchi sistemi di informazione.
The Five Star movement is gambling the internet can break Berlusconi's grip on the media.
We are the first party that used a lot Facebook, social media. We have this big problem about broadcast because we have Berlusconi with 3 TV. So he chose the internet. Internet is free.
The political void left by the traditional right has benefited one fringe group in particular, the populist right wing. Led by Matteo Salvini, the Lega Party has rallied around a hard line against African immigration.
Il primo problema dell'Italia per me sono gli immigrati. Devono andarsene fuori dai coglioni.
Siamo stanchi di questa gente che viene qui, non lavora, non fa niente. You are CNN?
No.
CNN is fake news, remember that.
Noi siamo vittime dell'unica forma di razzismo che ha massacrato il paese in questi anni. Prima il resto del mondo e poi gli italiani. E invece chi sceglie Lega il 4 marzo dice prima gli italiani. Prima gli italiani.
Matteo Salvini has done is reinvent what used to be a regionalist separatist group and transform it into a kind of a right-wing, anti-immigrant party. He's very aggressive, he's very xenophobic, he's very assertive, he has strong authoritarian tendencies, and a real appeal to the grassroots.
Con 5 milioni di italiani in povertà, con 3 milioni di italiani disoccupati, io apro le porte di casa mia, però fino a che questi italiani non troveranno un lavoro.
Fabio Bergamini is a Lega Party mayor of the small northern town of Bondeno.
Purtroppo la crisi del 2008-2009 ha colpito anche il nostro commercio e la nostra industria. Non abbiamo mai visto questo numero di disoccupati a Bondeno, che erano finti profughi. Non sono siriani che scappano dalla guerra, ma sono ghanesi, pakistani, nigeriani, zone in cui la guerra non c'è.
Around town, Fabio's constituents want to talk migration.
Ovvero entrano senza documenti, entrano senza nulla, arrivano qua, sono portatori comunque di una forma di terrorismo che si infiltra dentro questi poveri disperati che perdono la loro territorialità.
È finito il tempo delle parole. Domenica finisce il tempo delle parole.
Back in Rome, it's a difficult day for Sang, the migrant from Gambia. His request for asylum has been rejected.
I was called yesterday that today I have to go and collect my results. I went there and I saw that it was a negative. So it was so bad for me, I have to start all over again.
Sang's home country of Gambia is in crisis but not war, and he's not considered a refugee. Sang brings me to his state-run camp. Here the migrants are in limbo. These bunks were never the final goal, but they can't risk losing them.
No one is happy here. This place is full of stress. It's not easy to have a job in this country. But where and how? You see, the mind need to focus or to concentrate on something. Okay? How can someone be sleeping 24 hours around the clock?
Hassan, also from Gambia, had his asylum rejected a month ago.
Life is a living hell in third world countries. So that is why most of the African youths nowadays will undertake this risk, in crossing the Mediterranean to come to this part of the world, in order to change our living conditions for ourselves, our family, our poor parents back home.
After spending a year here waiting for this document, at the end, you were given a negative. So I was really down at first, but I know that life goes on. So there is no way going back, so only forward.
With Election Day bearing down, the parties begin their final push to get out the vote. In Naples, Potere Popolo, the new left movement, is polling at 2.5%, just short of the 3% they need to break into parliament.
Perché l'obiettivo è che superiamo la soglia di sbarramento e che riusciamo effettivamente a entrare in Parlamento.
È ora di mandare il popolo al governo. Noi vogliamo una democrazia reale dove a decidere sia il popolo, non più i pochi dentro palazzi e stanze chiuse. Il 4 marzo vota Potere al popolo.
Questa è praticamente una realtà nuova, perché esisteva 3-4 mesi. Sono tutti attivisti per la lotta al lavoro, per la sanità pubblica, per tutto quanto. Pensa che in questo posto lo so, però la differenza con i 5 Stelle è che questi qua sono del popolo e vanno al popolo, per il popolo. I 5 Stelle invece parlano e poi pigliano solamente vicino. Ma che ne tutti quanti fanno vedere? Io devo la puttana, non mi devo a farmi come fatica.
It's going really well. If we think about how this campaign started, from Napoli, a city in the south of Italy. Now we have 150 cities that are organizing the campaign. A movement that speaks about having the right for social welfare, for work, for the health system, for everything. Now it's the moment that we can finally have a voice and, of course, to keep organizing the struggle after the 4th of March.
Meanwhile, the leading right-wing parties make a joint appearance in Rome, offering themselves to voters as a coalition.
Cancellare la Lega ha scelto di unire il Paese nel nome dell'autonomia, del federalismo, del lavoro e della sicurezza. Mi raccomando ai rappresentanti di lista, il voto va chiesto ma va difeso.
But the situation is more complex than it appears. Ultimately, leadership of Italy's right will depend on who performs better on election day, the well-known Berlusconi or the upstart Salvini. They present as a coalition, but the internal competition is real.
Non vedo l'ora di cominciare a lavorare.
Berlusconi tacks right.
Rimpatriando almeno 10.000 immigrati clandestini al mese.
While Salvini refuses to play second fiddle.
La Lega che ho preso in mano 4 anni fa, che era al 3% in difficoltà in una parte di paese, sarà fondamentale perché il centrodestra vinca a livello nazionale.
Qua ci vuole un applauso, ragazzi, perché questa è una cosa importantissima.
As for the Democrats, Matteo Renzi closed his campaign on March 2nd with much fanfare. But on the ground, the center-left coalition appears fractured and out of steam. In the steel town of Tierney, Antonio Ionani has made a last-minute decision to run for parliament, but not as a Democrat. Antonio is running with Liberi Iguali, a breakaway group of the divided Democratic Party. The former allies now compete against each other from across the street.
Quello è un po' complicato ancora. Ho scelto di lasciare il Partito Democratico perché le cose che il Partito Democratico aveva deciso e stava decidendo non erano più le mie cose. Non ci sono riuscito, non mi davano ascolto. Questa è la macchina del candidato. Questa è la macchina del candidato.
2 more days?
2 soli giorni e poi.
And finally.
Pregunta, perché 5 Stelle?
Perché sono gli unici credibili contro questa massa di ipocriti, ladri e mafiosi. È l'ultimo treno e l'ultima speranza per quest'Italia.
Un partito più vicino a quello che penso.
Gli altri partiti sono tutti mangioni e ladroni.
Five Star Movement closes its campaign in uncharted territory. No longer the outsider, it's now the frontrunner, hoping to match its polling numbers on election day.
We can see that something is changing now in Italy. Yes, I'm quite confident.
Non sapete quanti ragazzi mi scrivono e mi dicono: Luigi, ma vuoi vedere
che sono io un incapace a non trovare lavoro? Visto che i TG ogni giorno dicono che la disoccupazione giovanile sta calando. Vuoi vedere tanti imprenditori che mi dicono: vuoi vedere che sono io un incapace con la mia impresa? Se ci permetterete di andare al governo, vi riconsegneremo le chiavi delle istituzioni di questo paese.
Per noi il più grande rivale sono le persone che non vanno a votare. Sono una grande maggioranza in Italia, c'è una disaffezione alla politica. Stiamo cercando di riavvicinare le persone alla politica.
My name is Leo. I have a law degree from Italy. I live in Barcelona. I work for Amazon. Let's go vote. Let's go vote. Let's do it.
Leonardo, part of Italy's brain drain, has returned to Rome to vote.
My heart obviously is still here in Italy, and this election thing has been troubling me a lot. There is the chance that this five-star movement may actually get the lead at the polls, and they may have to form the new government. That's really scary, because none of them has ever worked one day in their life. How can we still ask ourselves whether it's a broken democracy? It is a broken democracy. There is no one that actually really cares about making the reforms that we need. And then you have half of the country that has really bought racist arguments.
So who are we voting for today?
We're voting for the Democratic Party. It's like Matteo Renzi, former Prime Minister, Wonder Boy.
And why are you voting for Renzi?
Because he's the only opportunity of defeating populism in the country at the moment. He's the strongest opponent of the five-star movement, and that's the real threat to the country.
Do you think he's got a chance to win?
Absolutely not.
Late in the evening, the results begin to trickle in.
The anti-establishment five-star movement seems to be the big winner of the Italian election. At current counts, it is expected to win around a third of the vote. A right-wing alliance, including the anti-immigrant La Lega, may win slightly more seats, but again, it's not clear they can form a government. The biggest loser, outgoing Prime Minister Matteo Renzi and the centre-left Democratic Party.
Attenzione!
Attenzione, fate piano.
Così non usciamo.
The five-star movement dominated the election, taking 32% of the vote, almost 14% more than any other party.
Mr. Di Maio, congratulations! Are you going to be the next Italian Prime Minister?
But now comes the critical question. Can they govern?
Dietro, per favore, dietro per favore, dietro.
Well, I think it's right. It is a question mark. If you look at the way people are elected to represent the five-star movement, there's a huge kind of everyman participation that takes place. So that's their positive message, right? That the Italian people can govern. But there's a lot of confusion about what they mean programmatically.
Oggi per noi inizia la terza Repubblica e la terza sarà finalmente la Repubblica dei cittadini italiani. Grazie.
Across town at Democratic headquarters, it's a far more somber scene.
Abbiamo detto in campagna elettorale no a un governo con gli estremisti. Abbiamo detto in campagna elettorale no a un governo degli estremisti. La campagna elettorale che abbiamo fatto, noi l'abbiamo presa sul serio. Quando abbiamo detto no alla cultura antiscientifica, no alla cultura dell'odio, che ci separano profondamente da Salvini e Di Maio.
In another twist, Matteo Salvini's Lega Party performed very strongly.
Qualcuno qua dentro avrebbe pronosticato la Lega al 18%? Grazie.
His right-wing rival Silvio Berlusconi was embarrassed. first at the polls, and then by the results.
A blow to Silvio Berlusconi's Forza Italia.
The campaigns, the political jockeying, the speeches, the rallies, they're over for now. And Italy wakes up to a new day where over 50% of voters chose a populist route. Like many other countries around the world, they voted for parties less interested in global cooperation and more interested in nationalism first.